The Essex whaling disaster involved the sinking of a ship called the Essex after it was attacked by a sperm whale. The sinking of the ship led the crew to be stranded at sea, where they had to resort to drastic measures to survive. This is the true story of the Essex whaling disaster, a tale of courage, survival, and cannibalism that inspired the novel Moby Dick. With a crew of 21 men, the Essex set out from Nantucket, Massachusetts, in August 1819 on a 2.5-year voyage to hunt whales. The voyage started with a series of misfortunes. 2 days into the journey, the Essex lost her top gallant sail and 2 whaleboats. The crew encountered hostile natives in the Cape Verde Islands who stole one of their anchors and attacked them with rocks and spears. They also suffered from scurvy and fever, which killed one of their men. The Essex was hunting for whales, which were prized for their oil. The whale oil was used for lighting, lubrication, and soap making. Whales were dangerous to hunt. They could weigh up to 80 tons and measure up to 60 feet in length. The crew of the Essex used harpoons and lances to kill the whales. They then towed them back to the ship to boil their blubber into oil. The process was messy and smelly, but profitable. On November 20, 1820, they spotted a large pod of sperm whales about 2,000 miles west of South America. They lowered their 3 whaleboats and chased after them. As they approached, they noticed something unusual. One of the whales, much larger than the others, was lying motionless on the surface of the water. Suddenly, it lifted its tail and dove underwater. A few moments later, it reappeared about 500 yards from the ship, heading straight for it at full speed. The whale smashed into the side of the Essex with tremendous force, causing her to shudder and shake. The whale then backed off and rammed into her again, this time breaking through her timbers and creating a large hole below the waterline. The Essex began to fill with water and sink rapidly. As the Essex sank, the men gathered what supplies they could into the 3 small whaleboats. The crew made a plan to sail the small boats south. They hoped to reach Easter Island in 2 or 3 weeks, but they soon realized that they had underestimated the distance and the difficulty of the journey. They ran out of food and water and had to ration their meager supplies. They ate raw fish, birds, and turtles that they caught along the way. After a month at sea, they reached Henderson Island. They found fresh water and some edible plants and animals on the uninhabited island, which gave them some relief. 3 of the men decided to stay on the island. The remaining 17 men sailed on for another 2 months, enduring more hardships and horrors. As their food and water ran out again, they resorted to cannibalism to survive. By February 1821, only 5 men were still alive, 2 in one boat and 3 in another. The 3rd boat had drifted away from the others. Its occupants suffered an unknown fate. On February 18, 1821, the boat with 3 men was spotted by a British whaling ship named the Indian off the coast of Chile. A week later, the other boat with 2 survivors was found by another British whaling ship named the Dauphin near the Juan Fernandez Islands. The 5 survivors of the Essex were eventually taken back to Nantucket, where they arrived in June 1821, nearly 2 years after they had departed. Driven by an insatiable greed for whale oil, the Essex's crew underestimated the intelligence and ferocity of the great sperm whales that they hunted. The Essex whaling disaster is a haunting reminder of the delicate balance between mankind and the natural world, as well as the profound and enduring resilience of the human spirit. If you found this video informative, remember to like and subscribe to keep the spirit of discovery alive